It is currently 10 degrees outside and I need to go to the store. Now Murphy's Law is definitely going to step in and not let my truck start. Let's see what happens. The truck started, but there was definite hesitation because of these temperatures. Even at 10 degrees, everything is a lot harder to get going. Now, when the temperatures get down to negative 25 degrees, like we're expecting in a couple weeks, things are definitely going to be a lot more challenging. Now, this is my second gen Tacoma. It's an absolute beast. It's my daily driver, and I've done a lot of modifications to kind of Montana proof it. One for animals and two for the extreme cold temperatures that we get up here in the great Northwest. Now, the at-home fabrications front bumper has been a lifesaver. We actually struck one deer and it didn't cause a single bit of damage to the truck, mainly because this bumper is just bomber. It's got the big hoops on it, protects the headlights, protects the hood, and it's absolutely priceless. I've also got the Smitty-built 12,000-pound winch for recovering out of snow. I'm also running 33-inch mud terrains that will get me out of deep snow, and they are studded for the ice. And of all the winterization modifications I've done to this vehicle, I really haven't done anything to help it start, i.e. the starter battery, to make it more robust for these really cold temperatures. Now, I've spent the bulk of my life living in the desert of Arizona, so coming up here to the very, very cold temperatures of Montana, I've had to do a lot of research to get myself ready and prepared for these cold temperatures, especially the vehicles, because this is completely new to me. So is rust, which apparently happens out here all the time. And in my research, and I don't quite understand the science behind it, if you do know, please comment below. I'd really like to have a better understanding of it. But from my research, the number one thing that everyone says is keep your battery at 100%. One, you have the best chance of it starting because you have the most cold cranking amperage from that battery when it's at 100%. And also it's the least chance of you causing permanent damage to your battery, because apparently if you repeatedly try to start your vehicle at a lower charge rate, it's actually causing detrimental damage to that battery, which is going to decrease the battery life, which then you're stranded and are replacing batteries constantly. So in order to prevent that, I have the answer. Now, all of these concerns become exponentially more important when it comes to vehicles you don't drive often, like my two Tacomas here, the 4th gen and the 3rd gen Tacoma, as well as the Land Cruiser over on the side of the house there. I don't drive these at all in the wintertime. One, I don't have studded tires for them, so if I get into icy situations, I don't want to wreck these vehicles, and I also don't have a bull bar on this Tacoma yet for deer protection, because deer are still running around even in these cold temperatures. Currently on the 4th gen Tacoma, all I have to keep that starter battery maintained is the hood-mounted solar panel from Lensun Solar. Now, it's a really good panel. It's a 100-watt panel. However, because I have it parked in the pole barn, even with it pulled in backwards, so the hood is a little bit in the sun, this is the sunniest day we've had in months. And I mean, it's right now, it's only pulling like 9 watts because the sun is low and it's really only exposed for a couple hours at most because of the tree line. Now, that's not great for this battery. It's at 35% and not in good condition. The truck does start. It's just not the best scenario for the battery for longevity. And for the 3rd gen Tacoma, which again, I don't drive in the winter time, I have it hooked up to a trickle charger and it just sits on it all the time to keep that starter battery once again at 100%. This is one I picked up off Amazon. This is the No-Code Genius and it retails for about 40 bucks. And it's just a pretty simple rudimentary trickle charger, kind of does the gamut of types of batteries. But again, it's just a very simple trickle charger. At Overland Expo Mountain West, I met a company named PulseTech, and they have some great technology, which I really thought I could implement with all the vehicles that I have to be able to keep those batteries topped off. And it also uses some really amazing technology to actually condition the batteries to elongate that lifetime of that battery. So I'm not buying batteries every few years. I can probably stretch those batteries out 4 times longer using this technology right here. This is the XC400 from PulseTech, and it is a charger as well as a conditioner. And what it does is it diagnoses the battery to kind of see what it needs. It uses that pulse technology to repair the battery by using the electronic pixie dust that they sprinkle on this thing to basically take the ionization corrosion off the internal plates of the battery, which is going to make it last much, much longer. And then it charges it up to 100% to give it that long life. Now, the only thing better than to use this amazing technology to support your battery in one vehicle is being able to use it to support 4 batteries at one time. And this is the QuadLink. And what this does, it takes the input of the XC400, it boosts the signal out to 4 outputs so it can condition and manage 4 batteries at one time, which is what I'm doing today. Installing the QuadLink is really simple. It comes with 4 of these hard mounted wired harnesses that go right to the positive and negative of the battery. It comes with extension cables, and then it goes right into the QuadLink itself. The install could not be any more simple than this, and we're starting with the 2nd gen Tacoma. You can see here on the starter battery, I have the positive to the positive, negative to negative. I ran it right in front of the battery, kind of through the grill and up around the headlight. That way it just pokes out around the headlight so that I don't have to pop the hood every time I plug it in. 2nd gen is done. 3rd gen is going to be the exact same scenario, batteries in the exact same place. However, the 4th gen, the battery is on the passenger side of the vehicle and set back a little bit. Let's do that one next. Here in the 4th gen Tacoma, I ran positive to positive, negative to the negative, and then ran the wire down the side of the fender here out to the front, where I added an extension wire and then ran it out so that the end of the plug here comes out right by the headlight. That way I don't have to pop the hood every time I plug it in. 2nd gen plug is all wired up and it's sitting right here. 3rd gen plug is wired up and it's sitting right here. And the 4th gen plug is all wired up sitting right here. Pretty much the main power line is right between all the vehicles here in front of the pole barn. And this is where the central system is going to be all hooked into the QuadLink right here. Now this is a QuadLink, which means there's 4, so I can add a 4th vehicle to this. I didn't want to add the Super Ute because it would just kind of clog all this up for filming purposes. But just remember, this can hold 4 vehicles, not just 3 like I'm demonstrating here. The 4th gen Tacoma is going to be the furthest away from the power source of this system, so I got some 25-foot extension cables to run it all the way over to the other side of the pole barn. I got the other extension cables all plugged in, so I'm going to start with the 2nd gen Tacoma, and all I'm going to do is plug it into the quad end of the link here. Very, very simple to do. And the plugs here are really nice and weatherproof, a really, really tight fit. This is all just so much harder to do with gloves on, but it is cold out here. So I got all 3 Tacomas plugged into the QuadLink here, and then I have the insert end on this end, which needs to get plugged into the 400. The XC400, with all the weatherproof, I don't want to get it dirty quite yet, so that is going to plug into the end of the QuadLink here. I'm going to take my power supply and plug it right in, and it looks like the test is running. Everything's hooked up and it looks like it goes down the row individually, and it looks like number 1 is charging currently, and then once that's done it will cycle to each one and just trickle charge as it goes down the line. Now the real question is, why would you get this system, which is $170, over 4 of the NOCO individual trickle chargers? The real reason is because this isn't just a trickle charger, it is a conditioner as well. It uses, like I said, pulse technology that elongates the lifespan of these batteries 4 times. That's worth it all in and of itself. And for an extra $10, I think it's 100% worth the extra minute investment. Plus you have one system running all your rigs. It's just a no-brainer. All right, guys, I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, be sure to thumbs up, be sure to subscribe. I'm out here, I can't even talk. My face is so cold. It is just freezing out here. I'll see you guys next time.